They were perfectly hidden until sunlight hit broken glass. By sunset, 87 Japanese soldiers were exposed. April 17th, 1944. Bougainville Island, Northern Solomon Islands. The jungle breathes. Moist air hangs low beneath the canopy, thick with rot, insects, and the metallic smell of cordite that never quite leaves this place. Somewhere in the tangled green, a cicada screams, then stops. Staff Sergeant Daniel Harper, U.S. Army sniper, presses his cheek tighter into the stock of his Springfield M1903A4, careful not to move a single fern frond. He knows he's being watched. For 3 days, American patrols have been pinned down by an enemy they cannot see. Shots come from nowhere. One crack, a man drops. Another silence. Japanese infantry, masters of jungle concealment, have dug spider holes so perfect they seem to swallow sound itself. Even experienced scouts walk straight past them and never make it back. Harper blinks sweat from his eyes and scans the undergrowth again. Nothing. No movement, no shadow out of place. Then something flashes. Not metal, not a scope, just a blink like sunlight off water. Harper freezes. The jungle that wouldn't give up its dead. The Japanese defenders on Bougainville have turned invisibility into a weapon, wearing foliage woven directly into their uniforms, faces smeared with charcoal and mud. They lie motionless for hours, sometimes days. They do not fire unless they are certain. They do not retreat unless ordered. Many never expect to leave their holes alive. American doctrine struggles against this kind of enemy. Grenades are tossed blindly. Machine guns rake the tree line. Mortars pound suspected positions. And still the jungle shoots back. By mid-morning, Harper's platoon is stalled along a narrow ridgeline overlooking a shallow ravine. The ground slopes gently downward, choked with vines and fallen branches. Perfect killing ground. The Japanese know it. Lieutenant Charles Avery, barely 23, crouches beside Harper and whispers through clenched teeth. "Snipers! We're losing men, and we don't even know where." Harper doesn't answer right away. His eyes stay fixed on the ravine. The flash he saw earlier nags at him. "It wasn't random. Sunlight doesn't behave like that, not under triple canopy." "Sir," Harper finally says, low and steady, "they're down there, watching us." Avery swallows. "Then why can't we see them?" Harper exhales slowly. "Because they don't want to be seen." The Japanese camouflage doctrine in the Pacific is brutally effective. Unlike European battlefields, the jungle doesn't forgive mistakes. A helmet rim, a boot sole, a single careless breath. Any of it can mean death. Japanese soldiers adapt accordingly. They remove shiny objects. They dull metal. They even break rifle sights to prevent reflection. Many wear no insignia at all. But nothing is perfect. What Harper noticed, that fleeting blink of light, is something the jungle cannot hide. Glass. During earlier fighting on Guadalcanal, some Japanese units had scavenged civilian materials from abandoned villages, bottles, lanterns, even shattered windows, repurposing them for periscopes, range markers, or simple observation slits. A sliver of glass, no bigger than a fingernail, could be embedded into a firing port to allow vision without exposure. It was clever, and under the right conditions, it was fatal. Harper remembers a briefing months earlier, a throwaway comment from an old Marine scout who'd survived 2 campaigns. "Sun's your friend," the man had said. Anything unnatural reflects wrong. At the time, it sounded like superstition. Now, staring into the ravine, Harper understands the sun has shifted. It's early afternoon. The light angle is low enough to slide through gaps in the leaves. If there is glass down there, even broken, even dirty, it will betray itself. Harper reaches into his pack. Inside is a cloth pouch filled with jagged fragments scavenged from a blown-out Japanese supply hut 2 days earlier. Broken bottle glass, window shards, trash, really. He pours them carefully into his palm. Avery looks at him, confused. "What the hell is that?" Harper doesn't smile. "A mirror," he murmurs. "Sort of." He crawls forward, inch by inch, until he reaches a fallen log overlooking the ravine. With slow, deliberate motion, he scatters a handful of glass fragments across the dirt, angling them subtly toward the sunlight. Then he waits. The jungle waits too. Second stretch. Sweat drips from Harper's nose. Somewhere, a rifle safety clicks. And then it happens. Across the ravine floor, tiny pinpricks of light answer back. Not one, not two, dozens. Like stars blinking awake in the undergrowth. Harper's pulse hammers. His scope snaps into place. One flash resolves into a narrow slit, dirt packed tight around it. Another reveals a shallow depression, barely human-shaped. They're everywhere, Avery whispers, horror creeping into his voice. Harper nods once. Now we can see them. He adjusts his rifle. The first target exhales. Crack. The jungle finally screams. When light became a weapon, the first shot shatters the spell. Staff Sergeant Harper's round punches clean through the narrow firing slit, collapsing the spider hole inward like a kicked anthill. The Japanese soldier inside never has time to scream. Dirt erupts. Leaves flutter. And suddenly, the jungle is no longer silent, it's alive with panic. Return, fire cracks back instantly. But now it's different. Now the Americans know where to look. Along the ravine, flashes bloom and vanish as hidden observers jerk back from their glass slits in terror. Some try to cover the openings with mud, others fire blindly. A few attempt to crawl out only to be cut down the moment sunlight touches their movement. Lieutenant Avery shouts into the radio, voice sharp with urgency. All units mark targets by reflection. Look for light. Within seconds, the platoon adapts. Riflemen angle their helmets. Scouts shift position to catch different sun vectors. Someone smashes an empty ration bottle against a rock and scatters the shards forward, just as Harper did. The broken glass method spreads instinctively, not through orders, but through survival. Japanese camouflage doctrine had been built on one core belief: stillness equals invisibility. And for months, it worked. American soldiers had been trained to spot movement, not absence. But broken glass rewrote the rules. Light does not care about discipline. Reflection does not respect camouflage. The battlefield science is brutally simple. In a jungle environment, organic surfaces scatter light unevenly. Leaves absorb, bark diffuses, mud deadens glare. But glass, even fractured, even dirty, reflects sunlight in sharp, unnatural bursts the human eye is wired to notice instantly. Evolution had trained Harper's brain to see water, fire, and danger. Now it saw death hiding behind a sparkle. By mid-afternoon, the ravine becomes a slaughterhouse. Snipers work methodically. Spotters whisper coordinates. Machine gunners rake precise arcs instead of spraying blindly. Mortar crews adjust fire not by sound, but by reflection, watching where flashes disappear under explosions. One by one, spider holes go dark. Some Japanese soldiers attempt a desperate counter, tilting their glass away, using cloth, even shattering their own viewing slits. But panic works against them. Broken glass only creates more reflective surfaces. The more they move, the more they reveal themselves. Harper tracks one final glint near a fallen palm trunk. The sun catches it bright, defiant. He squeezes the trigger. Crack. The flash is gone. When firing finally stops, the jungle exhales again, but this time, it's different. The silence is heavy, permanent. American troops advance cautiously. They do not rush. They have learned what overconfidence costs in this war. What they find is staggering. 87 Japanese soldiers, all hidden, all believed invisible. Some are found with tiny glass slivers embedded into wooden frames. Others used bottle bottoms as makeshift optics. A few even had polished shards wrapped in cloth, primitive periscopes designed to see without being seen. Ingenious and fatal. That evening, Harper sits on an ammo crate, hands shaking slightly as the adrenaline fades. Avery approaches, helmet under his arm, eyes hollow. 87, the lieutenant says quietly. In one afternoon, Harper nods, staring at the jungle edge where the sun is sinking. They were there the whole time. Avery hesitates. Why hasn't anyone talked about this before? Harper finally looks up. Because it's not heroic, he says. It's just paying attention. The broken glass method never appears in official manuals. It's passed quietly from sniper to sniper, scout to scout. A trick, a whisper, a lesson learned the hard way. Because World War II wasn't always won with new weapons or overwhelming firepower. Sometimes it was won by understanding how light moves through leaves, by noticing what doesn't belong, by turning the enemy's own ingenuity against them. In the Pacific jungle, where men vanished without a sound, something as fragile as broken glass became a death sentence. Simple, cheap, devastatingly effective, and once seen impossible to unsee.